So you want to learn how to play Erron Black. I don't blame you. Erron Black is a great character in Mortal Kombat 11, one of my favorites actually, and he's both a very simple character to learn, but he can also be used as a very, very professional style character. Now, will this video teach you how to be an esports player? No. Will it teach you how to even be that good? Maybe. To be honest, this video is just a very basic beginner's guide. And before you ask, no. I'm not talking about frame rates, or chip damage, or any of that stuff. I'm just giving you some basic advice and basic combos that you can build off of. What this video is meant to be is a building block. I want you to use my teachings, I beg of you, and be better than me. Let's start with some very simple basics. Square, square, square. Square, square, square. This is a very basic combo that ends with a pop-up that most characters do have. You can also change it to square, square, circle to kick your opponent to the ground. Pretty much every character has some variation of this. Pushing square 3 times in a row really quickly is a good way to both push your opponent back, or to interrupt a combo they might be attempting, or to kind of keep pressure more in your favor. Up next, we have a very effective knockdown attack, which goes triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. Now this attack can be a little bit tricky to pull off, as the input sometimes may not always work the way you think it does, and it did take me a few times to even record it here, but it's a good, quick 5-hit attack that can knock your opponent to the ground. Now this can easily be helpful if you're using attacks such as, well, his Zartharian spit, and you're able to knock your opponent into the acid. I accidentally jumped off of something, so you don't see it here. Up next, we have back triangle, triangle, triangle. Essentially, to push back triangle, then push triangle twice more, to bash your opponent 3 times in the top of the head with the back of Erron's gun. This can be a very effective way to end combos, especially, like you'll see here, if you do have your opponent standing in acid, it can be a good way to knock them into it for even more damage. Thankfully, the Big Boots attack is still back, which does have a crushing blow if you do it twice in a row and are able to knock it off. Well, pull it off. And all you have to do is push circle, forward, push forward and circle, forward and circle at the same time, twice. Up next, we have his throws. All you have to do is push L1, and simply watch the magic happen. You can push forward or backwards to get 2 different throws and either throw your opponent away or behind you, and they're both awesome. That's really all I have to say about them. Up next, we have Erron's rifle, which you pull out by pushing back, forward, circle, and then pushing circle to fire. You can fire it 7 or 8 times before you have to manually reload each bullet, so I would recommend only ever using this when your opponent is nearly dead or if you're going into some sort of major combo. A point of note here is you can push L1 to put the gun away or cancel reloading. However, it still does take precious time that your opponent can easily use to beat you down. Next up is his cattle toss, which is down, back, forward, square, and essentially is a command grab which grabs the opponent, throws them down, and shoots them several times. It can be amplified for 1 bar of attack to add some extra damage and even a pop-up on it. Now, if you do know how to use your slide correctly, or even a bottle of acid, this can lead to some very effective combos, or just more chip damage, which can be helpful in the long run. Now we come to Erron Black's most well-known move, at least in the tournament circuit, the drop kick. For this, you simply push back triangle, up circle, triangle, triangle, triangle to perform a powerful drop kick, which then launches your opponent into the air and shoots them 3 times. However, this is important to note. While you can do the drop kick, as in the kick and then kick them up into the air part, you cannot shoot them unless you have the Gunslinger special move attached, which gives you special combos, like you just saw here with one of his attacks where he uses his guns. However, I'll talk about that when I get to customization in a few minutes. Up next, we have his Rattlesnake Slide. This attack can be great to both knock your opponent off their feet and to close distance between you or them. Amplifying it makes them throw out a bottle of acid, which can be helpful, to kind of keep them with chip damage, as I mentioned multiple times before, or even just to, well, make them think twice about trying to move into attack. Now, something useful about the acid damage is it's like the caltrops in the past game. And while you can throw it out separately by pushing down, back, square, amplifying a Rattlesnake Slide tosses one out right about where they would be, so it would land on them, making sure that unless they used a flawless roll away or something, they're still taking damage. Now after a slide, that is a good time to pull out your rifle and try and do some attacks. Some quick facts about the rifle is it can hit from full screen, making it a very effective tool for zoning. As well, you can also use your rifle even when it's empty to simply hit your opponent by pushing triangle. Now, one of the moves you can give Erron Black allows him to perform a powerful uppercut using his rifle, and both several other attacks with his rifle, like his marksman variation back in MKX. However, that's not how I tend to play it, so you can find out on your own by experimenting. And this is just the bare basics is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, up next here is TNT Toss, which is again a move you have to equip. By pushing down back square, Erron Black will take out a stick of TNT and light it. You can take damage from your own TNT, so please be careful with this. You can use it, you can push backwards, forwards, to essentially make it go further or longer, or just do it automatically to make it a simple, medium-sized toss. What can be useful with the TNT Toss, aside from amplifying it to make the fuse shorter, is the fact that it can keep your opponent from trying to move away if you're trying to hit them. At the same time, you can throw TNT behind your opponent, do a couple hits, and then jump back when they get hit by the explosion. Something else to try that I'm not the best at is launch your opponent using TNT, pull out your rifle, and then shoot them while they're in the air. It is possible, but it's much harder than it looks. As you'll see here, I haven't fully perfected it. Also, something worth noting, if you're at the end of the screen and you throw your TNT, it will go off screen unless you make it a close TNT toss, and your opponent will not take any damage from it. So here's a quick few universal combos before we move on. Use an enhanced rattlesnake slide to essentially knock your opponent into the air and then deal acid damage to them, like this. Now, once your opponent's in the air, jump on them, push triangle as you come down, then either go back triangle, 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 square, triangle, or square, square, square. Those quick mix-up attacks are great once you come down or after a knock-up, because it can be hard for them to react to them unless they are able to do a flawless block. Which in that case, throw your plan out and try something new, but don't forget, you're not going to win every match. Also, never forget the importance of the TNT that can hurt you. You can die to your own TNT, for the record. Also, one last thing about the rifle, I swear this is the last thing. When you use it, you start walking regardless, and you can't stop it unless you're reloading. Last thing I want to teach you guys about is the Nether Beast trap. By pushing down back circle, you put a small bear trap on the ground. Amplifying it kicks towards your opponent, and if they touch it, well, then they're trapped. This can be great for either using rifle shots or TNT, depending on what you do, but you have to be careful because the Nether Beast trap takes up 2 slots on your 3-slot choices when creating a custom variation. One other thing to note is that when the opponent is kind of moving up and down in the Nether Beast trap, the bullets might not hit them right away, so you may want to do some drop shots. Also, keep in mind you can amplify the trap to kick it towards them, and if you don't, well, it'll simply go away on its own after a few moments if it isn't stepped in. However, kicking it towards your opponent can be very useful for, well, of course, getting them trapped, and then hitting them with a powerful combo, or even a fatal blow. Hey, it might be cheap, but if it works, use it. The enhanced Nether Beast trap can also be a great end to some combos. Square, 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 enhanced Nether Beast trap. Back triangle, 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 enhanced Nether Beast trap. Using this is a great way to essentially keep your opponent from really getting up, and even once they're trapped, you can then move in and do a powerful uppercut. Just trust me, once you kind of fool around with the enhanced Nether Beast trap, it'll be your best friend if you're playing a more brawler type of Erron Black who doesn't rely on guns as much. Now we come to a very tricky but very fun thing to do with Erron Black, the TNT trap combo, I like to call it. So first of all, you cannot do this at full screen. You have to be about mid, a little bit just past mid at most, but you can do it pretty much anywhere else. First, you have to use an enhanced TNT attack, and that has to hit. Then when your opponent's just taken off in the air, you need to immediately let go of an enhanced Nether Beast trap. Otherwise, this combo will not work. I know you might think, wait, shouldn't I do the trap first and then throw the TNT? You might think that, but even enhancing the TNT, it takes too long for it to explode, and by then your opponent will have gotten out of the trap and escaped from the explosion. Trust me, I tried. Finally, we come to Erron Black's Fatal Blow, which frankly is one of the best in the whole game. What makes it so amazing, aside from how awesome it looks, is the fact it can be done from a full screen. Not only that, the opening attack, takes far longer than most other Fatal Blows, meaning that if you miss the first few shots, you still have a chance to pull it off. Not only that, Erron Black's Fatal Blow does not require to be in the air or anything like that, so you can do it after multiple combos. Even just doing a simple 1-2 square combo, or a 1-2-3 combo, or most of the combos I've shown you in here, you can either stop halfway or go all the way, and still manage to pull off a Fatal Blow with it. It's a very effective Fatal Blow and one of my favorites in the game. Heck, you can even kind of do a crazy combo like an enhanced rattlesnake slide into an uppercut and still be able to pull off the fatal blow after a few missed shots. It won't do 100% of the damage it normally would, but it still does a very, very good chunk of damage. Now before we get to fatalities, let's talk variations. My first variation, Erron Unchanged, used the Gunslinger combo, Cattle Toss, and Downward Peacemaker. My second variation, the one you've also seen, It's a Trap, notably used the TNT Toss and the Nether Beast Trap. As for what your character wears, it doesn't matter as much, although I think Erron Black has some of the better gear in this game, but please do take a look at all these different things. Thankfully, Erron Black doesn't have a lot of conflicts with a lot of his stuff, such as his TNT Strike, Enhanced Rattlesnake Slide, and even his Acid Pour. However, you do need to be strategic with what you're going to do, and I highly recommend, no matter what you do, you always have the Outworld Gunslinger attached, unless you're going for the Nether Beast TNT combo, because the Outworld Gunslinger lets you do a lot of the shooting combos you saw, including the dropkick shoot. Now, this is just my advice to you, you don't have to follow it, maybe you'll think of something far better than I could ever come up with, and I hope you do. But yeah, Erron Black is a lot of fun to play. He has become my main, second only to Shao Kahn, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Yes, he does have some flaws with him, such as how it can be a little annoying to have to reload manually, and there's no, like, sacrifice a bar or two of meter to simply reload entirely in an instant. However, I feel like that would be far too easy and too simple to misuse, especially in a tournament setting, so to each its own. Anyhow, welcome to the channel, everyone. You're chilling now with the Elder Squad. I don't know what's coming in the future on this channel aside from some gameplay videos, whoops, and, well, some good old-fashioned tutorials like these, but I really hope that whatever happens, you guys are here for the ride. I hope you subscribe, and I hope that all of you out in the combat crew are ready for some awesome videos coming your way, not just from me, but from my new pals I've been making friends with online, and we're going to be making videos, and we aim to entertain, educate, and above all, fight. That was a really weird outro. Anyhow, I also just realized I forgot to do the fatalities, so let's get to that. Erron Black has two. One of them's okay, and one of them is amazing. For the melted one you're currently watching, simply push down, 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 square in the mid-range. Then, watch as Erron Black quite brutally dispatches Frost. It's a great fatality. It's simple, effective, could have used a bit more pizzazz with the guns and all that, but it's totally made up for in his second fatality. And as for a second trap, it's down, forward, down, triangle. This is one of my favorite fatalities in the entire game. Yeah, it's just brutal, awesome, I love it. Anyhow, hope to see you guys around, and that's all for now. Later.